The title of this afternoon message is Open Heaven. I believe about 3 years ago, we took a whole month to discuss this topic. And like from last month, God has been speaking to me about open heaven. But it's almost like I did not actually understand what he's saying about it when he gave me the first revelation last month. Then on Wednesday, last week, he gave me another revelation and give me some instruction on it. So we're going to treat, and we're really going to pray a lot. So I'm imploring each and every one of us to really pay attention. To really pay attention. It is really a big deal. And as a matter of fact, I will tell you categorically that your life and fulfillment depends on it. If you receive it and work with it, it will do your life good. That means you will be able to be fulfilled in life. Amen. That is why I won't encourage you to ignore it. I won't encourage you to think that it's a small thing. It is the biggest thing in life when it comes to fulfillment. When it comes to walking into your full potential in life. If there's no open heaven, forget about everything. Just forget it. The book of Isaiah chapter 60 verse 2 and 3.
But behold, darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. But the Lord shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee. And the Gentiles shall come to thy light, and kings to the brightness of thy rising.
Isaiah 60 verse 2 is telling us that the darkness will cover the earth. And he's not emphasizing it. He said gross darkness. Another version says deep darkness. When he says the darkness shall cover the earth, it's not joking. And apparently darkness is covering the whole earth. You might be looking at these physical lights that you can see. This physical lights is only for your human eyes. It's for your human eyes. Your human eyes cannot see the spiritual darkness. You can only see the physical darkness that's been created by the absence of sun. That's the only thing you can see. But the spiritual darkness you cannot see with your physical eyes. That is why the book of Isaiah is telling us that the darkness shall cover the heart. And even gross, very thick darkness that even you can feel. I never understand this verse until this week. It's a thick darkness shall cover the heart. When it comes to open heaven, I will give you some instances in the Bible. There are two closed heavens. Two. There is a partial closed heaven. And there is a complete closed heaven. Last month, God showed me a complete closed heaven. And I did not understand it. I looked, I viewed it, I imagined it, I pondered on it, I don't even have a clue. I prayed about it, did not say a word about it. And I started asking me, is he talking to me? What is it? Why is all this thing happening? God revealed to me a very vast city, very big. And as big as that city was, there was a concrete cast, very thick concrete cast. And let's say, imagine like the city he showed to me is like almost the size of Baltimore. There's a concrete cast over that city that has no pillar, no single beam. I can see all the streets, I can see everywhere, but not a single pillar. And I was looking and said, what is holding this cast? It's like as you are looking at this ceiling and it's made of concrete. And God said, just start walking. I walked, I looked around. And I come to a place. He said, wait, look up. Then he showed me a cracked place, very small as this. Somebody just bust it. You can see that it's God himself that busted, so that I'll be able to understand the thickness of that concrete. And he said, look above it. Some people reside there. I saw a AC unit. The bottom of the AC unit standing on that crack. I started asking God, why is it that the concrete, no beam? Is it your wonders? Because I don't understand. Then he walked me back from where I started. Then I couldn't explain it. I prayed about it. I searched the scripture. I said, I didn't see nothing like it. I said, let me not bother myself. When it's time to come, he's going to talk about it again. Then last week, on Wednesday, he talked about partial closed heaven. He did not tell me that in the initial. There was a man standing beside me that was not allowed to look at. But I can see that he's holding a system. The system is not bigger than this Bible. I can only see the system. And he's talking, he said, I want to show you something. And he started punching. He said, looked up. I looked up. I saw beautiful things. Beautiful glories. Things that you cannot imagine. Glorious things that man has ever been striving to achieve. I saw them. They are beautiful. They are like when you walked into a beautiful flower garden and the beauty consumed you. You don't even know where to turn to. Can I pluck this one? Oh, this is better. Oh, I want this one. I started looking at it. These things are beautiful. I saw them far in the firmament. I was wondering, this thing is beautiful. And he said, okay, let me show you something else. He said, do you realize there's something between that what you are looking at and people that are standing on earth? I said, there's nothing because I can see them. He said, okay, let me show you. Then I didn't see the glory again. All I see is like a small statues. The statues is about the size of the top of this pulpit. A lot of them. They have impressions on them. Impression of like faces and everything. They cover all the firmament everywhere. But you can only see cracks where their shape are not irregular, where they fitted together, there's a little bit of cracks all around. I look at them, I say, what is all this? I said, just wait. And he said, look, each of these elements you are looking at is a spiritual being. I say it cannot be. It's just like a cast that is fitted together. He said, okay, let me drop one. He said, let me drop one that is close to you. Then I look up, one was falling down, and it fell in front of me. I tried to grab, and it turns to be a living being. That is when I realize, if you are a Christian, you don't know the God you are serving. You cannot pray. You love sin. You are in trouble. He stood up. I prayed. I speak in tongues. I do all kinds of things. As more as I do, the more he confronted me. I prayed, I prayed, I prayed, I prayed, I prayed. And I almost thought to one talking to me, but I cannot see him. But I can only see the tablet in his hand. I want to turn to him and say, what is happening here? But he didn't say nothing. And he said, look, that is the limitation between life and fulfillment. Then he said, pray. They take too long in that church. They are too hard. Their doctrine is unbelievable. No problem. He said, look, all these things we are looking at, he said, you see, that's a partial closed heaven. He said, the little cracks you see in between, when you pray and pray and pray and pray and pray and pray, your prayer will crack through that small opening and get to heaven. It will manage to get to heaven. But when it's coming back, he said, do you realize when you plant seed is very small. And when your seed bear fruit, it's bigger. So to find a place back to you is a trouble. See, that's why many people cannot be fulfilled in life. Because they cannot persist. Let's turn to the book of Daniel, chapter 10, verse 12 and 13. You will see what I'm talking about.
Then said he unto me, fear not, Daniel. For from the first day that thou didst set thine heart to understand, and to chasten thyself before thy God, thy words were heard, and I am come for thy words. But the prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me 21 days. But lo, Michael, one of the chief princes, came to help me, and I remained there with the kings of Persia.
Imagine Daniel was praying, and he did not stop praying. Do you realize the reason why Gabriel that was supposed to bring him the result find help? Because Daniel will not stop. From the very first day that I said, God help me, this is my problem, God heard. Your prayer cracked to heaven. Because there is thick darkness. But he cannot stop. He did not stop. Lord, until when you answer me, I'm going to be here with you. Jacob said, I will not let you go. If you want to go, bless me, then I will let you go. Many people cannot hold on to the Lord. When they pray for 3 days, they will look for another alternative. That is when they will say, they will remember there's one Baba in Nigeria. They will know that somebody in their native land that have helped somebody in a contrary way. He prayed and he continued praying. And the very first day he prayed, heaven heard. And heaven responded to his request. They sent Gabriel. And the king of the Persia said, where you think you are going? This is our territory. You cannot pass. And you think you are a Christian when you cannot pray. You are not. Because the prayer is the authority of God in you. It's the only power you get. The Bible says, ask, and it shall be given unto you. But when you ask, and you doubted, and you leave that your spot, you leave that altar, without getting fulfilled, then there is a problem. Daniel said, until I see the result of this prayer, Lord, I'm here with you. Imagine, for even Gabriel was held for 21 days on a single prayer request. 21 days. Until when God realized that, wait a minute. This is the same prayer that we've answered 21 days ago. Say, Michael, go and check what is happening on the road. Why is this man still troubling me? Bible says, pray until when your joy is full. Until when you see the result. Not a partial prayer. He said the darkness shall cover the heart. And a thick darkness or a gross darkness, the people. Are you not part of the people? So if your heaven is not open, then that's a problem. When Daniel cannot stop, heaven have to look down. What is happening to the result of that prayer that has been given? And Michael said, the king of Persia is there. Say, hey, what is? Go and help him. And he went, and he paved the way for him. When you pray, when you stand before the Lord, when you have a problem, when you have a supplication before the Lord, and you kneel before God, and you pray earnestly, that moment, heaven will answer you. But persist until when there is result. That is why it's very essential to always come to the presence of the Lord. It doesn't matter how tired I am. When it comes to coming to church on Sunday, I'd rather drag myself. Except one day, when I stood up, I realized if I move another feet, I will be on the floor. I will drag myself there. You don't know the time that your result will come. You don't know the time. That's it. Complete close heaven and a partial close heaven. But either of the two, you don't need them. We need a permanently open heaven. The one that the principalities and power cannot intercept. That is when heaven can recognize you. That is when heaven knows your voice. That is when you carry the glory of God of heaven. Can you imagine the life of Moses when he started? Initially, people don't recognize him. The congregation don't recognize him. Because there's still a barrier between him and God. There is a limitation between him and God. Until when he realized, if I continue like this, I'll just be yelling on these people with no result. I will yell and yell until when I die between them. I said, God, only thing I want with you is to just let me just be a little part of your glory. I want that favor to be a part of your glory. And when he encountered the glory of God, on returning back, this is the same Moses that went to that mountain. And when he's coming back, the Bible recorded that his countenance changed. Even the congregation that have been challenging him, when they saw that countenance, they said, please, we don't want to look at your face. Because you are like God himself. Then the power and principalities cannot hold him anymore. He crossed the boundary of the congregation. He was within the boundary before. But when he mingled with the glory of God, he passed the boundary of the congregation. You have to pass the boundary of a common man. You have to pass the boundary of a common Christian. Get into the depth of the glory of God. Then when you open your mouth, heaven will recognize your trances. And he said, and you shall decree a decree. It's not saying heaven will decree a decree on your behalf. He said, you shall decree and a decree, and it shall be established. Because the moment you open your mouth, heaven will acknowledge it. That this case is a settled case. You see, up after that, Moses operates on a different platform. There's no opposition again. No challenges. Unfortunately, Joshua was part of that glory because he was always at the foot of the mountain. 40 days he would be there. Another 40 days he was there. That is why Joshua can have a covenant with God. God said, all the days of your life, there shall be no man be able to stand before you. No power will be able to stand before you. Operating under open heaven. Go and read the story of Joshua. You will realize that because of the experience of Moses, it helped Joshua to excel. He knows that when God speaks, it's settled. If you walk in the covenant of God, you are settled. And when God makes a covenant with you, it is settled. Don't even look back again. The moment God said, Joshua, this is my deal with you. All the days of your life, there shall be no man be able to stand before you. Even Michael was standing before him. And he said, who are you? Are you for God? Or you are against God before I destroy you? I said, no, don't even go there. I'm the captain of the host of heaven. I'm here to help you. Why did Michael have to come? Because he have to fight that war under open heaven. You think the people that don't want you to survive, they sleep? They are covenanted into occultic world. And the covenant they have is a covenant that is affiliated to every closed heaven. They are operating over all the firmament. They are the darkness that cover the earth. Do you understand what I'm saying? You have to live your life under open heaven. Fight your war under open heaven. That with the assistance, direct assistance of God Almighty. Not fighting under your strength. Thank God that we have the grace of Christ. We can access the throne of heaven directly. Not going to any prophet. In your room, you can access the throne of heaven. While you are driving, you can access that place. Is your frequency of accessing that place that give you a divine recognition with the heavenlies? Do you realize the security services of Trump? They need something to get in, right? Huh? They don't need nothing because they know who they are. So when you can access the throne of heaven on a regular basis, heavenlies recognize you. Joshua said, this war is not over. If this darkness comes, I'm going to lose this war. He said, you moon and you the sun, stay where you are. It's not a prayer. It is a commandment. See, you son, stay where you are, and you must stay there until when I finish this war. Until when I finish this war. Then when I finish, you can do whatever you want to do. You have been given authority. Every authority in heaven and earth have been given to you if you know how to use it. The authority that you are given in the name of Christ to operate under permanent open heaven, you have to trust in that name. You have to know that name. The name have to reflect in your life. Anybody that sees you have to know that you carry the identity of Christ. The moment everybody that is around you cannot even see Christ in you, you are in trouble. Because this is the only true identity that can open the heaven for you. And the Bible says, and they overcame by the blood of the Lamb. If you don't carry that identity, then there's a problem. Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
Jacob, in the book of Genesis, chapter 28, verse 11 to 13, Jacob operates under a permanent open heaven, a permanent one, no hindrances.
And he lighted upon a certain place, and tarried there all night, because the sun was set. And he took of the stones of that place, and put them for his pillows, and laid down in that place to sleep. And he dreamed, and behold, a ladder set up on the earth, and the top of it reached unto heaven. And behold, the angels of God ascending and descending on it. And behold, the Lord stood above it, and said, I am the Lord God of Abraham thy father, and the God of Isaac. The land whereon thou liest, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed.
That's what. He had a revelation. The revelation he saw is the revelation of his destiny. That's his destiny. His destiny is the fulfillment of the covenant he made with Abraham and Isaac. The first thing he saw a ladder. Something that connects him to heaven. Not only that, there is an activity on that ladder.